You're listening to Living on Blockchain, and this is your host, Tarasha. So today I'll be interviewing somebody really interesting. I have known him as a friend and as a fellow mischief maker in this space. So I'm really happy that Shantanu Sharma could be a part of Living on Blockchain. He is the head of marketing and media at the Inblocks Network. He's also the chapter president at the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce in Gurgaon. And he is also the creator and host of Hard Fork, one of the best TV talk series in India on cryptocurrency and blockchain. It's so great to have you here. I'm so grateful that you could take out a time to talk to us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me. I've been waiting to come on, Living on Blockchain.
Oh yeah, it's a complete pleasure. We've been trying to do this for some time. I'm so glad that finally it has clicked and it's happening now. So tell us a little about yourself and your background a little bit.
Okay, so I'll probably cover in two distinct parts. Maybe I think probably pre-blockchain and post-blockchain maybe.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
So I started my career with the Indian Air Force. I was training as a fighter pilot there, and this is quite some time back. I could have it. I had to leave because of some medical reasons, and I came back. I had some computer background. Started working as a sales executive somewhere in Calcutta, and then from there on, 20 odd years working here and there. Got to work in good companies like I worked in PwC, worked in Polaris, with NIIT.
Okay.
And I got a fair chance of understanding the sales and the business development. So
right.
20 years I did. And then, of course, in 2011, I got to know about, I was following the Winklevoss brothers.
Okay.
And so that's when I got to know about something called Bitcoin. It came into my life, and I happened to read that paper way back in 2011.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
But I never got the chance to buy Bitcoin, or maybe I did not understand it completely at that point in time.
Yeah.
I always had this inclination towards technology and all that. So hence I remained in the technology companies, and hence I believe why Bitcoin also really, I liked it, and it struck me.
Okay.
But then, the real deep dive into Bitcoin started in 2016. Somebody was visiting my house and talking to my father about Bitcoin and an investment in Bitcoin, and that's when I got back into Bitcoin, and then I've not looked back since. So the past about 3.5 years, I have made a lot of money, lost a lot of money in Bitcoin.
Right. Haven't we all?
Yeah, we all. And then we got into mining. It really still intrigues me a lot, and learn a little bit. I learned a lot about Bitcoin first, and then Ethereum, and this space is getting larger and larger,
right,
and bigger and bigger. I don't know where to start. Whenever you think that you have learned enough, something new comes up, and you're back to square one.
Very dynamic. Yes, every day there is something new. Yeah.
Yeah, every day is something new or the other. So you have to get your priorities right. So for the past about 3.5 years, I've been a lot into Bitcoin mining. There were a couple of multi-level marketing so-called schemes, where I also got involved, but luckily I got past that and got into the real community work, which I saw, got engaged in last year.
Okay.
Must have given approximately 100 odd, lectures on in various forums on primarily Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain origins.
Right.
And now I am working mostly on how I can develop the training space and of course Hard Fork.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So tell us a little more about your experience with mining. So how did you start getting into it, and then were you putting together the hardware on your own, or were you outsourcing it? How did that work?
So so mining basically started on the other side. Somebody said there's mining happening in China, and I really understood about mining. I sat down to find that I can really invest then. So there are two ways, of course. I got to know that you can actually buy your own machines, or you can probably use their hosting services, and probably they already have the machines, and you can just pay for the hash rate that is there.
Right.
So that is what I started doing, and I started investing in buying a hash rate rather than putting in money into what do you call into
The hardware itself. Right. Okay.
hardware. But
Okay.
yeah, I did experiment. I did experiment with hardware here in India too.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out. It's mostly true with the GPU mining.
Yeah.
And but then of course, I put a lot of money into the so-called schemes which said that we're doing mining and you can put money here.
Yeah.
So apart from me having my own hardware somewhere, I put money in that too. And both in somewhere or the other work, all right. And but then I gave it up last year because of course you understand the mining was not profitable last year.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So we just said, okay, let's do it again whenever it becomes. So now it is becoming, very good. I mean, profitable again.
Yeah.
And I have been in talks with some locations where I can,
Perhaps
set up
get back into it. Get back into this
get back
satellite.
into and set up my
Yeah.
own mining farm or something like that.
Right. Yeah. And with this particular, announcement by China where they are, sort of, they're being very bullish on crypto, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's just
yeah.
gonna,
So there,
yeah.
yeah. So earlier China was very clear that they did not want to. They wanted to remove Bitcoin mining as an industry from their entire gamut of industries.
Yeah.
But if you read the report today, they said, no, I think we'll keep it because I believe they're very bullish on their own cryptocurrency that they're coming up with.
Right.
But and of course mining too. They should give a. I mean, there should be a shot in the arm for mining
Yeah.
industry
True. Yeah.
from starting from now on. But yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that would be the case. And I think just in general for the market as well, because China has been very bullish, even though the essence of what they might be creating might be a little questionable because, it kind of defeats the purpose of decentralization. If the country is kind of keeping tabs on everybody's spends. But, the
Yeah.
fact that they are being so bullish about it, that also I think should help with adoption. What do you think?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. So I think any proliferation starts happening in a much bigger way if the government is pro
Right.
a particular industry, a particular technology. So
Yeah.
I think them simply, even if they're saying, okay, we will start with a central bank digital currency of their own, it still is a shot in the arm for the digital currency, thing, the entire
Absolutely.
industry, for example,
Yeah.
or technology for that matter.
Right.
So I think in some way or the other it is good.
Yeah.
All right. And if they're bullish about their own thing first, well and good. But I think slowly and steadily they'll start accepting the ones which are truly global. I mean, for example, if Bitcoin is truly global, then I think it will really help. So
Absolutely.
I'm okay. I'm okay with this thought that okay, we will have our own stuff first, and then we will move on to other.
Yeah, I think I because perhaps I'm saying this because we are not there, but I seem to be okay with it as well because I think, as you said, that it'll help with adoption quite a bit. And moreover, adoption comes from getting people informed correctly, getting them educated, and because China is being so bullish, so there'll be a lot more people who will be looking up and going all like, hey, I want to learn more about this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, if you see the trend today and yesterday.
Yeah.
In fact, today itself, when the report came out, the news came out.
Yeah.
The entire Twitterati is, abuzz with this report that okay, China is allowing it, India should do it, and it's a shot in the arm for the industry. So, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So now coming to Twitter, you've been a part of the India Needs Crypto campaign across Twitter. So how is the campaign coming along, and have you received any reply from any policymaker or regulatory body?
See, I think India Wants Crypto started off last year in November, October, end October.
Yeah.
By Mr. Shetty of Wazirex. Okay, he is the one who started it.
Yeah.
And I noticed that, and I believed in that entire movement. I said, okay, let me support him. There were hardly people supporting it at that point in time, so I got into it, and I started tweeting and retweeting whatever he was doing, and created my own, following. So there are a lot of people who started following me after that.
Yeah.
And but I think the policymakers, more of them came because I was doing a lot of corporate training programs or university training programs.
Right.
So I happened to meet a lot of people, and yes, none of them have got in touch with me directly as policymakers. But yes, I got to meet some what you call LAM fellows or legislative.
Right. Yeah. PLR.
PLRPs, okay.
PLR.
Yeah. So I got to meet some of them and make a presentation in front of them because they were asking me questions about whether mining should be there. And this in particular came after the draft banning bill came into place.
Okay.
So there are, so there are people who got in touch with me saying you want to know more about mining. Somehow they didn't know that I said mining. They got to know that I probably was into mining in some form.
Yeah.
So that is when I started getting in touch with the people, but they're not really policy makers, but they're maybe policy analysts or policy
Yeah, they do
influencers.
help out with the policy, making they assist MPs, if I'm not wrong, the LAMP
Definitely,
fellows
yes.
and PLR in general, because it's a think tank, right? Uh,
Correct. So they
yeah,
think, for example, I mean, if you talk about the end of a research, they are the ones who, yeah, LAMP fellows coming to them and they do the entire research work, hand
right.
it over to the questions and all that stuff. So I think it really helps to get in touch with them because you at least understand that, yes, the policymakers are interested in learning about this thing.
Right.
Probably there's a question they want to raise or something. But yeah, I'm hoping to get in touch with some of them to at least place the thought process that okay, this is what we want to do.
Yeah, yeah,
But I don't think it's going
absolutely.
to happen. I mean, I don't think alone will, me being alone will be of any, what you call, will have any impact. It should
Okay.
be an industry body, all
Yeah.
right? A
100%.
cryptocurrency body, people who evangelize, people who are doing business in this, they should go together, form a group,
Yeah.
and they should lobby it. I mean, that's I think the best way.
That's true. So I think for any kind of policy change to be implemented, you need to have a strong lobby for it. But because the space is so much in its infancy, I think, and in India as well, that something like a lobby has not yet been formed. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that there are a lot of thought leaders who are going out of their way to talk about this. But then there is a lot of fear
Yeah.
as well, that the government might ban it.
Yeah. So there is the inherent fear that the government might ban it.
Hmm.
And I think whatever is the idea or a thought process that the government has that, regarding cryptocurrencies, the narrative that the industry has should change.
Right.
We've always been talking about RBI ने गलत किया, RBI has done it's wrong, we should not do this.
Right.
Cryptocurrency is not bad, and banks are bad. So I think the narrative has to change. I mean, we have to bring across the goods of how the society can improve with cryptocurrency and blockchain coming in. We
Yeah.
should be talking about the education system. We should be talking about digital currency. We should be talking about job opportunities. I think the
Absolutely.
narrative has to change.
Yeah, yeah. So there has to be. I think you're absolutely correct there. So there used to be more. There should be more talk about use case scenarios or use case examples where people can actually relate to them and they can see the advantages of this technology rather than just saying, okay, somebody has done something wrong and then rubbishing it. You should perhaps go out of your way to talk about the good parts so that people would be more eager to adopt it.
Yeah, yeah. So, example, I mean, I've seen people trying to equate us, the entire policymakers into being, are you as worse as Pakistan or Bangladesh is or Somalia is because they have banned, cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, right.
And, so I think, there was a presentation made. I had been to Mumbai the last weekend, and
Okay.
there was a small. The idea of meeting of the particular meetup was primarily to get the top leaders to talk about cryptocurrency and maybe creating an association of sorts which can talk to the government. All right, and the presentation was made by Kashif from Crypto Kanun, who said that India needs to move in the direction wherein the entire world is moving, and it
Yeah.
has to do it fast. It has to do it fast.
Yeah.
So I believe, all this while we were following what China was doing, but now that China has come back into the groove, I think we should probably see some change of stance in the time to come.
Okay, okay, that sounds promising.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is the idea is that the government needs to sort of create an environment which is conducive, but then the onus also falls on the people who are associated with the sector to sort of disseminate the right information. And
True,
as you
true,
said,
true.
instead of just rubbishing and sort of negating what they are doing, perhaps putting across, as I said, some use case scenarios, some things that they can perhaps identify with would help our case further.
Absolutely. So, about a couple of 2-3 weeks back,
Right.
I was sitting with somebody, and I said, hey, and I noticed that guy was doing some excellent work,
Hmm.
and he has created a product in India. All right.
Okay.
And that's when I started something called the Made in India, initiative. Where inside, why don't we talk about the Indian products that are there? All
Right.
right. Why don't we? Why don't? And of course, this thought process came last year, in November, when I started meeting a lot of people. I
Hmm.
saw that a lot of good work is actually happening in India,
Okay.
and nobody knows about it. I mean, at least the world does not know about it.
Yeah.
And there were hardly any product which was there. So when I started meeting people, that's how hard fork as a show came into my head.
Okay.
And about a month back, I said, hey, let's talk about the Made in India products. Let's talk about all the products that are there in India. If you like it, share about it, comment on it, about it, use it, send some word to somebody, and share it.
Yeah.
Let's talk more. The more we talk, and the more the buzz. And let's do it in all languages.
Right.
Why only limit ourselves to Twitter and English? Let's talk in other languages. Let's talk in Marathi. Let's talk in Gujarati. Let's talk in Hindi, and tell people that hey, a lot of good product is there. And so when it reaches the ears of the policymakers, they will see, hey, there are industries here in India who are doing well. We are losing out because they are traveling overseas to set up their companies. Let's do it in India.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We have to talk more.
Right.
We have to change the narrative. We have to talk more about what we're doing here in India.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot more noise needs to be made about it. As you said, there are a lot of good projects, but they're never really talked about. And somehow, people sort of miss out on that vernacular part totally. And then they expect that, everybody should sort of, identify with their cause, which is furthering crypto or blockchain. But then, we need to be more inclusive in our communication as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, I've noticed it myself.
Yeah.
When I started Hard Fork, I was doing it in English. But the channel I'm on, they also have a Hindi channel. The Founder India is also has an English channel, and they also has a Hindi channel.
Yeah.
So the first 5-6 episodes, I noticed that there are more vernacular followers in the on YouTube.
Okay.
So there are friends of mine in the cryptocurrency industry who are running YouTube channels, and they are doing it in Hindi, and they have tremendous amount of following.
Right.
It only means that there are people listening to them.
Yeah.
Whereas it does not happen in the English. So that's what my worry was.
Right.
I think we should go beyond the language of communication that we normally have and talk in other languages.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe have education programs in other languages.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. Actually, this is a very often neglected part of this movement because, as it's new. So we kind of forget and we kind of emulate what is happening outside. We forget that in our own country, there are so many languages. It cannot be inclusive until we address everybody.
Yeah. I mean, it could be strategically done. I mean, for example, we know that after English, Hindi is spoken more, but then there's Marathi, there is also Bengali.
Yeah.
There is Gujarati. So there are many languages. So maybe we say, okay, English, we're already talking about Kari, let's talk in Hindi too.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Let's make presentations. Let's make our, documentation in Hindi.
Yeah.
So that people, it can go to the hinterland and people understand more. Make it slightly simpler.
Right. This is all about being inclusive because blockchain ultimately is about being inclusive, bringing decentralization and changing the life of everyday people, and that cannot happen, as you said, without reaching the very grassroots level.
Yeah, absolutely. Because see, I mean, it's only in India that we have so many languages.
Yeah.
You go overseas, go to China, there's Chinese, but I'm sure there are many more dialects within Chinese itself.
Yeah.
However, not like India. Unlike India, there's so many languages here.
So many languages, so many dialects. Everything changes like within a few kilometers. Yeah. Absolutely correct. This is something I think we've often neglect. So, how do you perceive the blockchain and crypto sort of community in India? What is your take? And then perhaps you can move abroad as well and give me your perspective.
Okay, so India. So I started interacting with the Indian community only last year.
Okay.
Before that, I was only into mining, and so I had my own community to talk about. But the real community, which was actually doing development, on-ground work, all right, and I was only interacting with them. I started interacting with them only last May. Last May, I started interacting.
Okay.
I believe it's a very vibrant, community, where there are people who know each other.
Yeah.
Okay, but what's happening here is we get to see the same people over and over again.
Yeah.
All right. There is very little there was very little growth happening. Seeing a new face was not really happening.
Yeah.
Of late, I've seen that I had a chat with some of the leaders, thought leaders. I said, hey, why don't we start a campaign where it's say, next time don't come alone, come with one more person.
Yeah.
Somebody who's not been introduced or you want to. All right.
Right.
So you have to live by example. So I started doing that. When I used to go to a community get together on a meetup,
Yeah.
I used to take somebody along, and
Right.
that's how the systems grow. Ecosystem grows.
Yeah.
We are still, despite being a discrete, a very large community here in India, we are still working in silos. There
Yeah.
has to be more collaboration. There has to be more interactions. There has to be more lobbying together. All right, there's a lot of work which can be done if we collaborate more. Yes, we have our own, business interests, of course,
Hmm.
but we'll probably grow faster if we collaborate.
That's exactly what I'm about to
Yeah.
say. Yeah, that is what I thought that perhaps because people seem to think that their business interests may clash, and that's why they don't tend to sort of share or make noise.
Yeah.
I think it should be exactly the opposite because any movement or any community to actually see real growth and not
Hmm.
just vanity numbers, you need to
Hmm.
collaborate, and especially when a technology is so new and so dynamic.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But they, within the community itself, I have, met about hundred odd people. If I really want to give a number to them,
Hmm.
50 of them I've seen that, they talk to each other constantly. They interact with each other. They figure out
Yeah.
what the other is doing. Even
Right.
if it is a competitive product, they try to see if we can collaborate.
Hmm.
All those kind of things are happening.
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to be a matter of time. Probably there's a lot of negativity also there used to be a lot of negativity in the industry.
Yeah.
Hence there was, people were not upfront about what they were doing.
Yeah,
All
as I
right.
said, there was
But
fear, there was like this inherent fear that, the government's going to ban it or whatever, and then they will get into,
yeah.
yeah, hot water.
So I
So,
think I think it's correct. So I think a matter of time wherein people will start opening up and we'll see more and more things coming and the community becoming even more bigger and vibrant.
right, okay. So, what about the global perspective? How do you see mass adoption of blockchain happening? In which country do you see it do you see which country do you see as being the most bullish regarding this technology and crypto in general?
Anywhere apart from India, they have been very bullish, is what I know. So I think there's a lot of work which comes in, which I've seen happening. I just happened to notice something in freelance.com and
Hmm.
other such sites. There's a lot of work which comes from Europe, a lot of work coming from USA. All right,
Right.
and I believe they are two biggest places where probably blockchain adoption is happening. All
Yeah.
right. But I guess I don't know. I've not been overseas, but even in small countries, there is a lot of awareness. I
Right.
have traveled to places like Armenia,
Hmm.
and a very small country, hardly 10 million people there. All
Right.
right, and these people are there is a small, and there are very very close knit,
Okay.
and they have a blockchain association. Imagine, so they have a blockchain, and they're very bullish about it. In
Wow.
fact,
Okay.
I represent a company from Armenia, and they have set up a free economic zone in
Right.
Armenia, and
Okay.
so they are inviting people from all across the world, saying, "You come, you set up a shop here, you will get a free economic zone, residency, and you don't have to pay taxes for what 25 years.
Wow.
So
Okay.
there's a tax holiday for 25 years. So I think
Right.
they're very bullish about it. A very small country. I mean,
Yeah.
probably the
Right.
Delhi is
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. It is. And I didn't know that they were being so bullish. I just knew about Belarus that they were giving a very long tax holiday to
Yeah, yeah,
blockchain companies, etc.
yeah,
So basically, in the East Europe and in the North American continent, they're usually very bullish about new technologies, and mass adoption happens, I think, on a quicker basis because perhaps they are developed economies. Why do you think
yeah.
that perception is there?
What perception is there?
Why do you think this particular perception is there that the North American continent and Europe in general, they kind of sort of adopt to new technologies in a quicker manner?
I think. Oh no. Okay. So this is very. I don't know. Maybe because the technologies are coming from there itself. Okay. I think because if you look at even for that matter, Bitcoin
Yeah.
supposedly came from the USA, from the
Hmm.
soil of USA, and most of the cryptographers are there in the
Right.
USA.
Right.
And hence, I believe because it is originating from a particular place, I believe it makes it much more, conducive for working out of there.
Right.
And I think because there are smaller communities, I mean, if you look at Europe, there
Hmm.
are there are smaller countries, all right? These smaller countries, want people to come to their place and invest. I think probably them adopting a new technology will make them much more, advanced, and they get more investments coming in place.
Yeah.
And the government, I think government is, apart from all the politics that is there, the governments have at least one person who is, bullish about, yeah, we'll do it, hum karenge.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
They're pretty instrumental in that, absolutely.
Yeah, and
So,
India is a large country. India is
yeah,
a huge country, okay? And
yeah,
there are many countries within the country, okay? So India really would have a state. So I think here adoption is going to take a lot of time because every state government has to be, has to fall in line
right.
to understanding this first. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I believe.
that is true. That is true. Sadly, this population and just the vastness of the country can, perhaps hinder how bullish we can be towards this
Yeah.
technology. So, as you
So,
said, smaller countries are more ready to adopt. Like, for example, you gave an example of Armenia. There is Estonia. They even held their, some part of their elections were held on, they're voting on blockchain.
yes, yes, yes,
So
yes.
I think but that is again a very good insight that just because to get all the state governments on board and have them on in everybody looking at the same page, that would also that's also sort of a challenge.
Absolutely. So I think what I believe is happening right now is there are smaller areas designated within a state. For example, Telangana and Andhra, all right, and Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra. They are bullish about this particular industry on blockchain.
Yeah.
So whether it be a private or permission, I'm not sure right now.
Yeah.
But I think what is important is, them coming on board and then saying, okay, this is the area designated where we'll do experimentation, all right, and then we will spread the entire, wind towards that area.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. So there is a designated area in Telangana as well as Andhra Pradesh,
Right.
where all the experiments are happening. It's
Yeah.
a blockchain district.
Right.
So I think that's the way forward. The
Right.
government has to identify, okay, this is where we want to implement. Say, for example, if we want to implement blockchain in land records, we
Yeah.
will implement it in this small municipality somewhere, and let's see how it goes.
Right. Right.
So they have to do it in tranches. They have to do it in tranches and take it forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, when I was going through a profile, I saw that you also work as a crypto advisor and independent consultant. So, what is exactly the primary area of work there, and what kind of services do you provide as a consultant, and who are these people? Are they enterprises or are they startups?
So yeah, there were startups. Okay, when it came to consulting, they wanted somebody to be on board as an advisor to how cryptocurrency works and all that stuff.
Right.
To educate the people. But I think most of my consulting is based on cryptocurrency education and content creation.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I've been advising universities and colleges where they said, okay, we want to start something. For example, I want to start a blockchain lab. So what is required for a blockchain lab? How do we do it? What are the education programs that we should run? All right, and it all normally usually starts with me giving one seminar and people liking it, saying, okay, come on board. How can we push it to the people? Can we create an own certification program? So that is the area of consulting that I normally give. Right. And of course, there are people, when it came to cryptocurrency about a year and a half back, it was more to do with मैं किसमें पैसा लगाऊं.
Right.
It was more to do with where do I put money on, and how can we build a small pool of money? Of course, that didn't really work out because of the 2017 fall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The rise and fall of 2017.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are a lot of people who come to me again, and this is purely on a friendship basis, and asking them, yeah, what do I buy? Should I keep it? Should I not keep it? Are you bullish about it or not?
Okay.
But I think I'm more focused on education, on mining.
Okay.
And of course, right now I have this heart for. I'm more towards advocacy. So I would like to, that's what I want to get involved in really big.
All right. Okay. So, but that kind of leads me to the next question. What are you? Which token currency are you? Really bullish about? What are you really excited about? Apart from Bitcoin.
Oh, okay. So there are. See, if I really want to talk about, I have a fair amount of love for Ethereum.
Okay.
Right? Because I don't know, maybe I invested in a very small amount and I got a lot of money out of it.
Right.
All right. I bought my first Ethereum at $11. Okay.
Right.
So it was pretty long time back.
Yeah.
Having said that, I think there are some good companies which have come forward.
Okay.
Okay, which have Indian background. For example, if I talk about one of the best ones that I find is Matic Network.
Matic,
All
yeah,
right, Matic,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah,
So they are doing fantastic work. They have
absolutely. Wonderful work there.
Matic, yeah, Matic and Marlin. They are really going all across the globe. They are in many forums.
Yeah.
People are listening to them, and they are I think because Matic has led the way for a lot of companies out of India or out of overseas who are actually looking at India in a much more positive way now.
Yeah.
So hats off to the Matic guys and the Marlin guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. They're doing
And
really wonderful work. 100%.
yeah,
They've changed.
yeah,
They've been really instrumental in the change of perception when it comes to crypto blockchain in India in the same space. So
yeah,
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 people are looking at us differently.
yeah, absolutely. So, but there are a lot of good work happening still. I mean, there are a couple of things which I remember. There's a guy called Madhur Prabhakar who's working on something called Equate. He's working on this basically, recruitment-based screening product.
Okay.
And then there is something called, of course, all the WazirXs and CoinD6 of the world is happening. There is a guy called Vikas Singh who's doing good work on Block Labs. He's creating
Mm.
something. I think a lot of work is happening. CoinFox, for that matter, in India,
Yeah.
they are doing fantastic work. I think what we need to do is, as I said, we need to talk about our things. What
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah. No,
Coin,
more noise.
token, no token doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yes, I do my own investments now and then. So Matic is for sure. I do a lot of investments on EOS and Ethereum. I keep on putting money there.
Yeah. Okay.
I used to be very active long time back, but these days, I don't know. I just kept whatever money that's parked there, and I see once in a while.
Yeah, yeah. I think that has been happening with a lot of old-time traders and people who've been, invested. They've been investing heavily, and now they're sort of holding. So yeah,
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from there. Okay. So coming to my penultimate question, who are some thought leaders that you follow for in this space to be, just to be inspired, to be updated, and specifically, who are some women thought leaders perhaps you could name that you follow?
Oh, I definitely follow the women who came on my show. All the women. So there are 4 women who came on my show, including you. I definitely follow. I'll follow them. Then there is somebody called Nadine Damblon. She is from, if I'm not wrong, from Europe. For the country, I follow her. She has been working on something called Hydro Miner. So they
Okay.
developed a mining product which works on water-based mining.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
and then there's a lady in the US. She goes by the name of Linda Goetz.
Right. She
Okay,
was on
Linda.
our show. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So she basically she was on your show too, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And she's created the blockchain chamber of commerce.
Yes, Blockchain Chamber of Commerce, and I have started the NCR chapter here in Blockchain of Chamber of Commerce here in NCR.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, so we got in touch with each other a long time back about a year back, and we got in talking,
Hmm.
and then we found an opportunity. I said, should we start here in NCR or not? So we are starting it in NCR, and shortly the entire operation and activity will increase. I know
Okay.
that you are on the Blockchain Chamber of Commerce expert community. All
Right.
right.
Yeah.
So a lot of work has to happen in that direction too, which will be more of education, more of the chamber related work, wherein blockchain and crypto, everyone has to come together. Those kind of
Yeah.
things have to start here in India, and
Absolutely.
yeah,
But
this is
I
one.
think this is the right step in that direction where you were saying that we do not really we don't really have one body, so perhaps it's a step in the right direction, a small step where it can lead to much bigger things.
Yeah, I'm hoping that would happen, and
Yeah.
that's where the thought process came. When we heard about the cryptocurrency banning draft bill,
Right.
and we got in I got into a much deeper conversation with Linda, and when she said, okay, I think we should start it now, because
Hmm.
if we start it now, we have the runway to be able to discuss with people, talk to people, and get them mobilize the people, and then we can talk to the government. So they
Right.
should see work happening. And if we are, if we show it around, if we display or demonstrate our work being done in a bigger platform, I think we'll get to see some movement happening and change of mindsets happen.
Absolutely. Okay. So this is wonderful. Now coming to the last question that I ask everybody, how do you propose our listeners can start living on blockchain or get into this space? So what do you think can be the first steps?
Oh, I've kept it very simple when it comes to these kind of thought process as it how can I involve somebody else. I think the journey starts at home. So
right.
Can I first within my own family, can I at least inculcate a habit of people talking about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency?
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
And the best way to live on blockchain is each one teach one. All right.
Yeah.
We don't have to set up huge mining farms. I mean, I have one mining farm. Can you join? Let's join. This is how it works. So that's how it works. If I have to teach somebody, I teach one person, and that person teaches the other person, and that's how we can continue living on, bringing more and more people into it, and people can start living on blockchain. As I said, India hai, use karo. There are products here in India. Understand them, use them, talk about them, share about them.
Yeah.
And I think we can see a lot of things going. I mean, one by one.
Right.
It's called, I use a policy called brick by brick.
Right.
Right. You make a big building brick by brick, and that's how it will work.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. One day at a time. This is wonderful. I think the thought process behind it is wonderful because ultimately that's how you, further the movement that is there for crypto and blockchain, because you have to get the foundation right.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Tarusha.
Excellent, Shantanu. It's been wonderful talking to you. I am so happy and grateful that you could take out the time. And any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, I think what I want to, I think probably you're doing a fantastic job. I think we need to probably you need to increase the frequency of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that we can talk more about it. Maybe change the language. Maybe I think it's what we're doing is fantastic. So let's keep on doing it day in day out. That's what we want. Let's talk about it more.
Yeah, let's collaborate and do this more often. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Tarusha, for having me. It was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.